All right, we'll get started with our press conference featuring the Clarkson Golden Knights, ranked number 7 in the latest USCHO poll, number 2 seed in this region, making their 22nd appearance. They are coming in as the ECAC tournament champions for the first time in 12 years. Joining us today at the table, head coach Casey Jones, voted as the ECAC Coach of the Year. Joining him are his captains, a junior forward, Devin Brasso, a junior forward, and the Hobie Baker finalist, Nico Sturm, and a junior goalie, Jake Kiley. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, followed by questions for just the players, and then questions for Coach will be at the end. So, Coach?
Well, we were excited to be here. I thought, we came in with a purpose here this weekend. Thought last year we were excited to be in the tournament and a little bit relieved to get there and to reach that goal and maybe let something slip there last year. And attention to detail has been good practice. We've finished on a good note. Looking forward to carry that over this weekend. Congratulations to the other teams that made it to the regional, and looking forward to a tremendous game tomorrow against Notre Dame.
Thank you, Coach. Start with questions for the players.
Cap Carey, Watertown Times. Any one of you guys can answer this. Just how did last year's experience in this event help? Like I asked you about that going to Lake Placid last week too, but to go there last year to the NCAAs, what are some benefits you get from that this year?
I think our team learned a lot from last year to this year. I think it showed in Lake Placid where, we were finally able to come out with that win last weekend compared to the year before where we lost in overtime. But it's just mostly experience. I think Coach said it well. We're happy to be here, but we're not satisfied. I think last year we were just, content with making the tournament. It had been a while for Clarkson, and, everyone was the excitement was around that. But I think this year the excitement is more around, how far we can go, and we think we can go all the way. So it's just, it's experience, it's learning. Every guy in that locker room, we were able to everyone who was there last year was able to translate that to the freshmen this year, and it's going to make for an exciting weekend.
More questions for players?
This is for any of you guys. What do you think the biggest factor was that got you here to the NCAA tournament?
I think this year the big thing for us was, I think throughout the entire course of the year, not throughout just a certain portion of it, we really had a lot of attention to detail in practice. And I just think that overall the experience that we had last year, losing in Lake Placid, losing the first game of the regionals, just really kind of put a chip on our shoulder and really, got us to put our nose to what the task is this year. And that was to win a championship last weekend, and then really come into this weekend with our best effort. And so I think that this last part has just been about paying attention to the details of game in, game out. If something didn't go our way, bouncing back from it and just learning about the experiences as we go. And then just at this time of the year playing our best hockey, and I think it's showing.
Any more questions for the players? Right here.
Nico, hopefully I don't get this fact wrong, but if I remember right, you guys all played against Notre Dame when you were freshmen. I know a lot of differences on both teams, but what do you kind of remember about that game, and is that an advantage that you've at least seen this team in some form before?
Usually the styles of play don't change much when the coaches stay the same, So, I remember that it was a pretty close game, and I expect the same thing again. I think coaching staff has done a good job of, giving us the inside scoop. And they don't give much up. We don't give much up, and both are structured teams. And I think that's pretty much what we're gonna see tomorrow night is two teams that are defensively sound, and I think in my opinion it's gonna be the team that can eliminate their mistakes the most. They're gonna come out on top tomorrow night.
Any further questions for the players? All right, you guys are all set. Thanks, guys. We'll open it up to questions for Coach Jones.
Casey, I was just going to say, what do you kind of think about tomorrow's match? Like, what are some areas you guys are going to have to do well and to have success against that team?
Yeah, I'll watch a lot of them on tape. Obviously, I think they, they got a lot of guys in that locker room winning pedigree, got to where they wanted to go last year, maybe a goal short of their goals last year. Aware of, I think Nico put it properly there with they don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't beat themselves. So I think it's going to be a situation tomorrow night that, teams going to have to show patience. Both teams will have to show patience because you said it, where both teams are good defensively, and mistake could be costly at any time of the game. So it's going to be a team that competing at a high level, competing hard, and staying patient with the game so that you don't try to press it when it's not there, and try to get something that's not going to be available to you. Just simplify the game, and I have a funny feeling that's going to be the game tomorrow night.
Next question.
What do you think the team can bring from winning the ECAC championship to this weekend?
I think it's about our second half, right? Like, just we've been pretty consistent with our effort. There's a confidence that certain things, when we were young last year, certain things could set us off and we could go in a tailspin. We have the ability that when things aren't going right to have a little bit more composure on the bench, that we're going to survive it and build from it. So I think we have a little bit more of a, these guys are vets. You're looking at, I want to make note that Devin Brussel was a student athlete of the year in our League Two, and he brings a ton of off-ice leadership to our group as well. So they've been there before, and they recognize that just being patient, being around the game, and that experience, I think, carried over well last weekend for us. We're in a good spot as a team. I'll be honest with you, we're confident. But we drew a Big Ten champion. So you come over, you push hard at the end of the year, and you're at that time of the year, everyone's good. We're going to play good teams. Notre Dame's a good team tomorrow night. We're going to focus on our identity, who we are, and hopefully that's good enough tomorrow night.
Next question right here.
Chris Lynch of Inside Hockey. Coach, could you comment on the way that Jake Kiley's performed in net through the back half of the season, the way he's been an anchor, and the way he'll have to perform against the reigning Richter Award winner in Cale Morris?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is that there's a trust factor that he'll make the saves he's needed to, and he's able to make the saves that we make mistakes on. So our guys play very with a lot of confidence that they can be aggressive, and we want to play a tempo game. We want to play a fast game. We want to get up into play. If you're worried about doing that, making a mistake, and ending up in the back of your net, you don't play free. And we play free. I know that. I can tell as a coach that we're not nervous about making mistakes because he's there when you need him. So that's what a great goalie gives you, right? And in overtime, we had the big penalty kill that we needed to do last weekend in a championship game, and he made a couple of key saves there down the stretch to keep the game into overtime for us, and end up on the right end of the stick on that one because when it was going away from us, he kept us in it, and that's what he does. His expectations is tomorrow night goaltending will probably factor in both teams being really good, and it's who's going to solve it, right?
Any further questions for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach.